My husband used to text me good morning every day. Then one day, it stopped. Curious, I checked his phone bill, hundreds of messages to a number I didn't recognize. That night, while he slept, I texted it from his phone, "Wish I could hold you right now." The reply came instantly, "Soon, my love." The next day, I called the number. And when a familiar voice answered, my blood ran cold. It wasn't a woman. It was someone I knew too well. We've been married for 12 years. His name is Alex. I thought I knew him. We live in Chicago, in a small townhouse not far from the lake. Nothing fancy. Just a quiet life. A routine life. Or so I thought. Every morning, without fail, I'd get a text from him before I even opened my eyes. "Good morning, beautiful," or "Rise and shine, sleepyhead." Sometimes something silly. Sometimes just a heart emoji. It didn't matter what it said, it made me feel loved. Safe. Seen. Then one morning, nothing. I woke up, reached for my phone like always, and no message. Just blank. I checked if maybe I missed it. Nothing. I waited a few hours, then texted him, "Everything okay?" He replied later that morning, said he was just running late. No big deal. Okay. Life gets busy. Things happen. But the next day? No message again. I asked him about it, tried to sound casual. He shrugged it off, said he must have forgotten. But my gut told me something wasn't right. That kind of thing doesn't just stop for no reason. Especially not with someone like him, he's consistent to a fault. Still, I didn't want to seem paranoid. I told myself I was overthinking. But the distance kept growing. He was coming home later. Smiling less. Talking less. And always, on his phone. Texting. Typing. Laughing at messages I wasn't part of. I started to feel like a stranger in my own marriage. I tried to shake it off, to trust him. But one night, he left his phone on the kitchen counter to take a shower. And something in me snapped. I didn't go through his messages. He had a password, but I did something worse. I logged into our phone account. It showed everything. Not the content of the texts, but the timestamps and the numbers. One number stood out. It was everywhere. Hundreds of texts. At all hours. Morning. Night. Lunchtime. While he was in meetings. While he was lying next to me. I copied the number down. That night, while he slept beside me, I stared at his phone. My hands were shaking. I typed out a message to the number, "Wish I could hold you right now." It replied within seconds, "Soon, my love." My blood went cold. I just sat there. Staring at the words. My love? Who says that? I couldn't breathe. I didn't sleep at all that night. I just watched him sleep while my entire world started to collapse around me. The next morning, I waited for him to leave. As soon as the door closed, I called the number. The phone rang twice. Then I heard the voice. "Hello?" I froze. It wasn't a woman. It wasn't even someone unfamiliar. It was Daniel. Alex's best friend. His brother. The guy who helped him move when we bought this house. The one who came over for every barbecue. The one who stood beside him as best man at our wedding. The one who sat on our couch, drank beer with him, laughed with us. I didn't say anything for a second. I felt like I was going to throw up. I managed to whisper, "Daniel?" He paused. "Who's this?" "It's Sarah." Silence. Then a small gasp. "Sarah," I hung up. I felt the phone slip out of my hand. I dropped to the floor and just sat there. Numb. Confused. Angry. Heartbroken. I didn't even cry. Not at first. It was like my body couldn't decide what to feel. That night, I confronted Alex. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just asked. Why did the good morning text stop? He didn't answer. I told him I knew about the number. That I texted it. That I called it. And that I knew who answered. His face changed instantly. He looked sick. He didn't deny it. He just broke. Told me everything. He said he didn't plan for it to happen. That it started as late-night talks. That he was confused. That he didn't mean to hurt me. He said he loved me, but that he loved Daniel too. I asked him how long it had been going on. He said a year. A year. 12 months of lies. Of pretending. Of sleeping next to me while texting I love you to someone else. Of letting me believe I was crazy for thinking something was off. He said it wasn't physical at first. That it was emotional. Like that was supposed to make it better. Like that made it hurt less. He cried. I didn't. He apologized. I didn't respond. I felt nothing. Just cold. Just empty. The next day, I packed a bag and left. Went to stay with my sister in Milwaukee. I told him I needed space. I didn't know what I was going to do. I still don't. I haven't told my family yet. I haven't told our friends. I haven't answered Daniel's texts. I haven't opened the letter Alex left on my nightstand the day I left. Right now, I'm sitting on my sister's couch, writing this, trying to make sense of it all. Trying to breathe. Trying not to collapse. I feel like my whole life just slipped through my fingers. Everything we built. Everything I thought we were. Gone. It's been 6 days since I left. 6 days of silence. No calls. No messages from Alex. Just that letter I still haven't read. I keep staring at it in my purse. It's folded neatly in his handwriting, and I can't bring myself to open it. Part of me wants to burn it. Another part wants to read it 10 times and memorize every word. Daniel texted me once. Just one message. I never meant to hurt you. Please let me explain. I didn't reply. Yesterday, my sister, Rachel, came home from work early. She sat me down, real serious, and said, "You're not going to like this." I asked her what she meant. She took a deep breath and showed me her phone. It was a photo. Alex and Daniel. At a bar. Not just sitting side by side. Holding hands. In public. In Chicago. A friend of hers had seen them downtown, recognized Alex from our wedding photos on Rachel's social media, and snapped the picture. She sent it to Rachel, asking if I was okay. I wasn't. Not even close. They weren't hiding. They weren't grieving. They were out. Together. Drinking and laughing and holding hands like teenagers in love. Like none of this wreckage existed. I lost it. For the first time since it happened, I screamed. I threw the letter across the room. I knocked over a lamp. Rachel just stood there, watching me fall apart. She didn't say anything. She just let me have my moment. I needed it. After I calmed down, I did something I probably shouldn't have. I called Alex. He answered on the second ring. "Sarah," he sounded surprised. Cautious. "I saw the picture," I said. My voice was flat. I didn't even recognize it. Silence. "You didn't waste any time, did you?" I asked. He sighed. "Sarah, I didn't mean for you to find out like that. I wanted to talk to you first." "Don't lie," I snapped. "You didn't even try to call me. You were too busy playing house with Daniel." He didn't respond. "Was it always him?" I asked. "Even before we got married?" "No," he said quietly. "I swear, no. It started after. Years after. I didn't know. I didn't know I felt that way." "Did you ever love me?" I asked. His voice cracked. "Yes. I did. I do. It's just different." I hung up. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about every moment we had together. Every fake smile. Every lie told through his teeth while he sat across from me at dinner, checking his phone under the table. I finally opened the letter. It was 4 pages long. He poured everything out, how he felt lost, how Daniel had always been a safe space, how it wasn't about me, how he thought he could live both lives without hurting anyone. But the worst part? The last line. "If this had never come out, I don't know if I would have ever left you." He wouldn't have left me. He would have just kept pretending. Kept lying. Kept texting Daniel behind my back while kissing my forehead goodnight. That line broke something inside me. But the twist? That weekend, I went back to our house in Chicago. Just to get some more of my things. Rachel came with me. I didn't tell Alex I was coming. He wasn't home. But Daniel was. He opened the door like he lived there. Because he did. There was a toothbrush on the bathroom counter that wasn't mine. New shoes at the door. A hoodie draped over the back of Alex's favorite chair, the one I gave him for our anniversary. Daniel looked stunned when he saw me. I didn't say a word. I just walked past him, grabbed my stuff, and went upstairs. Then I saw something that stopped me cold. A picture frame on the nightstand. The same frame that used to hold a photo of me and Alex from our honeymoon in Italy. Only now it held a different photo. Alex and Daniel. Smiling. Arms around each other. Taken in the same spot. Same frame. Same lighting. Same pose. It was like I'd been erased. I stared at it for a full minute. Then I grabbed it, threw it to the ground, and stepped on the glass until it shattered. Daniel didn't say a word. Just stood there, watching me. When I walked out, I stopped at the door. "You think this is love?" I said. "You think you won? You didn't win anything. You stole 12 years of my life and you shoved it in a box like it never mattered. But guess what? I'm still standing. And I'm not done." I walked out and slammed the door behind me. Now I'm back in Milwaukee. I haven't spoken to Alex since. But last night, I got an email. From someone I didn't expect. Not Alex. Not Daniel. Someone else. And what they said changed everything. The email came from a name I hadn't seen in years. Caitlin. Alex's ex-girlfriend. The one he dated before me. We were never close, barely even spoke, but I always remembered her. She and Alex broke up a few months before we started seeing each other. He told me it ended clean. No drama. They grew apart. She moved away to Portland. That was the end of it. Or so I thought. But here she was, after all this time, sending me an email with the subject line, "You deserve to know the truth." At first, I didn't open it. I figured maybe she saw something on social media. Maybe she was just reaching out to stir the pot. But 2 hours later, I couldn't resist. The message was long. Calm. Not angry. Not gossipy. Just honest. Here's what it said, in pieces, because I can't stop rereading it. "Hi Sarah, I know this is probably the last thing you expected, and I hesitated for weeks about whether to reach out. I'm not doing this to cause more pain, but I think you should know what I've known for a while. Alex and I didn't grow apart like he told you. The real reason we broke up was Daniel." I had to stop reading. My hands were shaking. They had a thing. It started while Alex and I were still together. I found messages, flirty ones, emotional ones. I confronted him, and he said it wasn't what it looked like. But it was. He admitted that he and Daniel had crossed some lines. I gave him an ultimatum. He promised to cut things off. Said he was confused. That he didn't want to lose me. But it didn't feel real. He never looked me in the eyes when he said it. 2 weeks later, he told me he needed space and ended things. Then he met you. My chest felt tight. He lied to me from the start. This wasn't new. This wasn't an affair that started by accident after a decade of marriage. This was a pattern. I know it's not my place to get involved. I saw the picture of them together online recently. It triggered something. You didn't deserve this. I'm sorry. Caitlin. I stared at my screen for what felt like an hour. So it didn't start last year. It started before me. Before our wedding. Maybe even during our engagement. He'd been lying since the beginning. I was never the only one. Not really. Daniel wasn't just some forbidden affair that spiraled out of control. He was always there. Always in the picture. Just hiding behind the scenes, waiting for the right moment. And Alex let me build a life with him while keeping that secret buried under everything we created. I thought I was the one who'd been betrayed. Turns out, I was the replacement. The fallback. The cover. And suddenly, everything made sense. Why Daniel always hovered just a little too close. Why Alex got distant at random moments. Why our wedding day felt strangely hollow in the photos. It wasn't in my head. It was in the margins. Always there. Just out of sight. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't even cry. Later that night, I decided to confront one person I hadn't talked to yet. Daniel. He texted me after I left the house that day, but I never replied. Now I wanted answers. So I sent a simple message, "We need to talk. Tonight." He replied right away, "Okay. Just tell me where." We met at a quiet coffee shop in Milwaukee. I got there early, sat in the back corner. He showed up wearing the same gray coat he always wore when he came to our house, when he was just visiting. He looked nervous. He should have been. I got straight to it. How long has this really been going on? I asked. He hesitated. Last year, no, I said. Not the lie you told Alex to tell me. The real answer. He swallowed. It started before you and Alex got married. I nodded. And Caitlin? I asked. His face went pale. You knew she found out, I said. He didn't answer. You two covered it up. You waited until she was out of the way. And then you let him build a marriage with me while you two danced around it in secret. He leaned forward. Sarah, I didn't want it to happen like that. I didn't plan this. I loved him, but he chose you. I thought it was over. Then one night, he called me after a fight with you. One thing led to another. I cut him off. Don't say one thing led to another. Say what it was. You chose to keep coming back. You could have stopped. He could have stopped. You didn't. He looked down at his coffee. Then he said something I didn't expect. He told me you knew. I blinked. What? He nodded slowly. He said, you suspected. That you were okay with it, as long as he stayed. That you'd rather live in denial than be alone. I couldn't breathe. He lied to Daniel about me, just like he lied to me about Daniel. He made both of us believe we were the ones he really wanted. He played both sides. And it worked. Until it didn't. Now I'm sitting here, staring at a photo I found in one of my old albums. It's from our 5th anniversary. We were at Navy Pier, fireworks behind us. I was laughing. He was looking at me. Only now, I see it. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking past me. At the man holding the camera. Daniel. And in that one moment, in that one photo, I finally see the truth. This story isn't over yet. But I promise, the next part won't be quiet. 2 weeks later, I decided I was done dancing around the truth. I was done being the one to tiptoe. I told Alex to meet me at a place he wouldn't expect, the same restaurant where we had our rehearsal dinner 12 years ago. Public. Open. Neutral ground. He agreed. When I arrived, he was already seated, looking uncomfortable, like he knew he didn't belong there anymore. I sat down across from him. I didn't even take off my coat. I talked to Daniel, I said. He didn't flinch. I talked to Caitlin too. Now he flinched. His lips parted like he was about to speak, but I held up my hand. You told Daniel I knew. That I accepted it. That I'd rather keep my mouth shut than lose you. He didn't deny it. You let me build a marriage on top of that lie. You looked me in the eyes for 12 years and let me believe I was the one you chose. Still silent. You didn't just cheat, I said. You gaslit me. You rewrote my reality. He looked down, ashamed. People at the nearby tables glanced over. I didn't care. Then, I stood up and pulled a manila folder out of my bag. I slapped it down on the table. Divorce papers, I said. He blinked up at me. Sarah, no more letters. No more texts. No more half-truths. This is the truth now. Sign it. He looked stunned, like he never expected I'd go through with it. Did you really think I'd just fall apart forever? I asked. That I'd sit in the dark crying while you two played house? He opened his mouth, but before he could speak, I heard a voice from behind me. I told you this would happen. We both turned. Rachel. My sister had followed me. She walked right up to the table and stared him down. She loved you so hard it broke her. And you just sat back and watched her break, Rachel said. You don't get to cry now. You don't get to look hurt. Alex stood up, suddenly angry. This is between me and her. No, I said. It used to be. But then you involved Daniel. And Caitlin. And my sister. And everyone else who had to watch you lie through your teeth. Alex looked at me, finally showing some emotion. His voice cracked. I didn't want it to end like this. I stared at him. It didn't have to end like this. You made it this way. People were definitely watching now. I felt heat rising in my cheeks, but I didn't stop. I couldn't. I loved you, I said quietly. I gave you everything. And you let me. Knowing you never planned to give it back. He reached for the folder. I stopped him. One more thing, I said. Look me in the eyes. And tell me you didn't love him the whole time. Even when you married me. He didn't. And that silence told me everything. I nodded, stepped back, and left him there. Later that night, Rachel poured me a glass of wine and sat beside me on the couch. I was numb. The adrenaline had worn off. The silence hurt more now than the confrontation ever did. "You okay?" she asked. I didn't answer right away. "I think I am," I said finally. "I think I needed that." The paperwork went through in 2 weeks. He signed. No fight. No drama. Just a couple of signatures that officially erased 12 years. Daniel never reached out again. Caitlin and I actually emailed once more, short but kind. 2 women on opposite sides of the same storm, finally seeing each other clearly. People talk. Word spread. Some friends stayed. Others vanished quietly. Some blamed Alex. A few blamed Daniel. No one blamed me, not out loud, anyway. But the silence from some was loud enough. It's been 3 months now. I've started running again. Joined a book club. I painted my bedroom bright yellow, something Alex always said was too much. I love it. Every now and then, I still check my phone in the morning. Not because I'm waiting for a good morning text. But because I'm still unlearning the habit of being loved by someone who never really loved me. I've learned that betrayal doesn't always come from hate. Sometimes it comes from people who swear they care. And that's the part that cuts deepest. Would I ever forgive him? No. Not really. But I'm not living in rage anymore. I don't want revenge. I want peace. And I'm starting to find it, in tiny moments, in quiet mornings, in cups of coffee that I drink without anyone lying beside me. I used to think losing him would destroy me. Now I know the truth. Losing myself for him was the real tragedy. And I'm not doing that again. Not for anyone. I don't know what love looks like for me now, but I know it doesn't look like pretending.